Episode 32. So Dani finds out she will no longer be on the board of First Gen, the program she raised money for and hosts the fashion show for, brought Chelsea in so that she could use her influence to bring in more donations on top of already being a Dupree and the Dupree board hosting it as well. That wasn't enough for the board. They decided to get rid of Dani. Sad because it gave Dani a purpose. She, for the first time since the series began, she wasn't talking about Bill Hamilton. Next, Samantha tells Smitty she told him her desire to become a model because he's the reasonable dad and he's willing to listen to her. And Smitty says that he doesn't appreciate her and Tyrell divide and conquer strategy. But I'm sure this is not the first time they've done this. That's why Smitty was so aware of what they were doing from the jump. So, I mean, Smitty's acting surprised, but he's not surprised. He knows how the kids feel about Martin and his controlling ways. And I feel the same way. I am not a fan of Martin because he is a narcissistic control freak, very much like Bill Hamilton. So Martin comes downstairs with Tyrell and tells Samantha to fill him in on what he missed because he already know he's been played. He already know that the kids feel like he's too controlling. And so he, again, that's the control freak in him. He wants to come down to find out what's going on because if Smitty did agree to something, he's going to put a monkey wrench in it and stop it. So moving on, Bill and Haley arrive to the country club and they sit down to order. And the waiter dismisses Haley. Anything Haley says to the waiter's like, whatever. He acts as if he wasn't spoken to. But when Bill speaks, it's Mr. Hamilton. How can I help you? Yes, Mr. Hamilton. And I was like, wow. I think Bill handled himself well, but I think he knew he had to because I'm sure it's against country club policy to get irate with the staff because I mean, like, that was so rude what the waiter did to Haley. And I'm not a fan of Haley's, but it was really rude. So Bill goes ahead and order for Haley, and Haley's upset because she's saying she wants the respect of being able to order for herself, as anyone would. But she knows the situation, and she knew when Bill brought her to the country club that he was going to have to place the order because of the way she was treated before. So I think with her, she just wants instant access to everything, and she doesn't realize there's a pecking order, especially in the society behind the gates, so to say. Next, Dani finds out that she was removed from the board because of her recent behavior in public. And like she told the board head, then that situation happened weeks ago. Why wasn't I let go at the time? And of course, she said she knew why, because they needed her. And that's the truth. That is definitely the truth. But this board member, Dani, who had this issue with bringing a gun to a wedding, you allowed her to sit on the board for weeks after that incident. But, it's not becoming of a board member. BS. And so Dani, she knows what's going on. Next, Martin tells Samantha there's no way in hell he's allowing her to drop out of school. Again, like I said, there's that word allowing, like his Aunt Dani did. And then now he's putting down Dani. And Dani was successful. So he's acting as if Dani dropped out of school. No, she was walking the runways around the world. She was on magazines and everything. So I don't know where he's going with that. I don't even think he knows. Samantha asks could she do modeling part-time, and modeling could be like an extracurricular activity. And I don't see what the issue is. Like Samantha told him, she's always done what she's supposed to. She has good grades. She doesn't get in trouble. So I don't understand what the issue is. But I think we know it's Martin, and he has to control the situation. Next, Anita arrives to the country club, and Dani asks her mom if she knew what the board was going to do. And Anita tells her she's there for a manicure appointment. She doesn't have any idea of what Dani is talking about. And she asks Dani what happened. So Dani goes in to tell her what happened, how she was removed from the board of Next Gen. And Anita says that, don't worry about it. I can get you in by the end of today, back on the board. And Dani's like, no, I don't want to be on a board where no one wants me. And Anita's looking like, I'm going to take care of this. Mama Bear is upset. This board head doesn't know what she has done because she has unleashed Anita Dupree. And Anita Dupree do not play. So moving on. Smitty asks Martin, why is he so against Samantha modeling? And I'm with Smitty. What is the problem? And Smitty says, does it have something to do with you running for president? It seems like everything has something to do with Martin running for president. Smitty can't get a job because Martin's running for president. Samantha can't model because Martin's running for president. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Instead of them working as a team, Smitty and Martin, and having this family unit, everything is surrounded around Martin, and that's not fair. Martin can't be a family man and then expect that everybody should just fall in line behind him. He's acting like the head man in charge. It's his way or the highway, basically. And he puts down Smitty, and this is why I feel like Smitty is verbally abused a lot by Martin, because why does Smitty have to be naive because he's asking you a simple question? What the hell? This dude. Next, Martin meets Dani at the country club to talk about Samantha wanting to be a model. So Dani says that Samantha is a natural. And Martin tells Dani that Samantha wants to be a model like her and Chelsea, of course. Been successful in their careers as models. Why would Samantha not want to do that? So Dani says that she didn't know Samantha had took it that seriously. And Martin asks, what does Dani think of Samantha being a model? Next, Anita tells Vernon she's so angry about the First Gen board kicking Dani off of the board. And Anita says that she's concerned that she's concerned that by Dani getting kicked off the board, this is going to set Dani back. And that she's afraid that Dani will go back to her behavior, being obsessed with Bill. I mean, she didn't say that, but that's basically what she's alluding to. Next, Martin tells Dani that Samantha's only 16, and Dani tells him that's why a good manager is important. If Samantha has a good manager, then that manager can shield her from the dangers of people who don't have the best interest for her. And that Dani also tells him that he gets the chance to dim Samantha's light or let her shine. And I agree with that. Let her shine. Because you putting her down or telling her that she can't do it, all that is going to do is make a successful child, a child who's been achieving, make her don't want to do it anymore. Because what's the purpose? When she wants something, she can't get it. Next, Anita invites Hannah, who's the board member who removed Dani from the board. I guess she's the lead board member. Anita invites her to her home, And Hannah says that they have a lot to discuss. So she's coming in like she's running the show, telling Anita and Vernon they got a lot to discuss. And Anita's looking at her like, are you kidding me? You just got rid of my daughter off the board, and you think that I want to discuss anything with you? And I thought it was kind of rude too, how this Hannah lady was sitting there every time Anita would shut her down or tell her, no, we don't have anything to discuss because I heard what you did to my daughter. And she's addressing Vernon as if Anita's not in the room. And Anita's just smirking. And Vernon, I like that about him. He's like, if Anita says that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. Like, don't think that I'm going to go against her. And Anita tells her that there's a proper way to do things. And I agree with that. It is a proper way to do things. And the way that Hannah handled the situation, her and the board, that was wrong. In so many words, it's like they're a subsidiary. They depend on the Dupree Foundation for the majority of their grants and the money that they get. And she should have known, her and the board, that by removing Dani, that was going to upset Anita, and Anita was going to show them her wrath. So Anita is looking at her like, no, I'm getting rid of you. And so now Hannah doesn't have a job. That was real smart of her and the board. Next, Martin tells Samantha he can't agree to her modeling, and Samantha asks Martin, why does he say no to everything she does? And I had said that earlier. He says no to dating, modeling, everything. And Smitty tells Martin that he worries if he keeps saying no to Samantha, she's going to rebel. And I mean, Smitty, he's thinking about this in the right way. You can't keep telling a child who's doing everything that you're asking her to do no. And especially over something so minute as modeling. Next, Samantha calls Chelsea and asks her to be her manager. So see, what Smitty said is coming true. She's rebelling. She's basically saying, I don't care what you say, Martin. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I want to be a model. So it's going to happen regardless. So Martin has created a bigger situation. Next, Anita tells Hannah that First Gen will no longer be under the Dupree umbrella, like I said, and that Dani is going to head this new foundation that she's creating, and this foundation is going to do much of what First Gen was doing. And so Anita tells Hannah that you'll be lucky if Dani allows you to work for her. Wow. Anita put her in her place. She should have never messed with Anita Dupree. I don't know what the hell she was thinking about. And that's the end of the episode.